Michael,
Yeah.
when you call timeout there with a couple seconds left, what play are you drawing up? What's the conversation in that huddle?
Well, yeah, we got the stop with Jamal Steele, and I tried to call the timeout right away so we could advance it. The referees obviously didn't give us that, so we had to take it out three-quarter court. And the first look was going to be Jamal Murray up the sideline. Second look was going to be KCP coming off of Nikola. And then obviously lastly, Nikola flashing back to the ball. And then I said, I want you to take two dribbles over half court and shoot the three. And he executed the play to perfection. But
rattled off a lot of names, and you guys were a well-balanced team, a very deep team last season. But do you feel, or how balanced do you feel that your team is right now?
Well, yeah, I think with our starting lineup, we have guys in that starting group, Jamal, Pope, Michael, Aaron, Nicole, they can all have big nights. We play the right way, 28 assists, only 9 turnovers. And then off the bench, obviously, Reggie's capable of having a big game. Peyton had a big game tonight. And, the reality is, we're playing a lot of young guys off of our bench. So when you play young guys, there are going to be, some ups and downs. And we're living with that because we feel that Christian, Peyton, Julian, all those guys have very bright futures ahead of them. So the experiences that they're getting now is only going to help us as we move forward, not just this year, but for many years to come.
Hey, Coach, with the three-point defense being what it was tonight, what did you guys find to close out on a 25-4 run?
Yeah, it was the most important thing, Bob, was just not giving in, not giving up, not letting go of that proverbial rope. And so there was a belief, and we just kept on chipping away. And then we'd get another stop and we'd score. We get to the foul line. And the next thing you know, it's a 12-point game. It's an 8-point game. It's a 5-point game. And next thing you know, we win the game at the buzzer. And then, just guys understanding Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Pajamski, who played really well. That kid's got a bright future. And locking in. Last year we had the third best clutch defense in the NBA. And I think tonight down the stretch that showed.
The third quarter isn't what we expected.
Me neither.
Yeah. So would you think that there's any way that can be done better, executed better for this team?
Yeah, it was, to your point, 44-24. So we didn't defend it all. They scored 44 points that quarter. And then offensively, we were just very stagnant. You look at, we won every other quarter aside from the third quarter. And unfortunately, it was a 20-point deficit in that one quarter. So we could have been better offensively. And to be better offensively, that always starts with your defense and your rebounding. But they came out hot. They came out on fire. And we didn't do a whole lot to disrupt their rhythm. And we'll watch the film. We have the toughest back-to-back in the business tomorrow night at home, going from the West Coast back to Denver. But hopefully our guys are ready for that challenge.
Coach, it's more of a big picture question in terms of you guys have bigger things in mind, obviously, with what you accomplished last year and where you'd like to be playing at the end of the year. How do you maintain that focus now and the urgency that you need game to game now, knowing that your guys are thinking we want to be playing in May and June?
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge, and that was one thing we addressed going into training camp was understanding you've gone from being a team that was a hunter to now being hunted by 29 other teams who are trying to dethrone the reigning NBA champions, and understand that every night you have a target on your back. You're going to get everybody's best. Golden State's used to that. They've won 4, and everybody gets up to play the champs. And so I have to remind our guys at times. I got to jump our guys at times. And you have to trust your veteran core group and our starters to bring it and to hold each other accountable. It can't always come from me. And I think for the most part, we've won 6 in a row on the road, as I mentioned earlier. We're now, I think, 11-2 in our last 13 games. I think we're doing a pretty good job of understanding every single night we're going to get the opponent's best, and we have to bring it, and we have to hold ourselves to that standard that we always talk about. And when we're not living up to that standard, it's a collective accountability. We all have to be better.
You mentioned the third quarter kind of getting blitzed by the Warriors. You also talked about how impressed you were with your guys to be able to stick with it. What did you see change? I think you started the fourth on a 13-0 run. What did you see change in that quick amount of time to push you guys to that run?
Yeah, they came out in the third quarter very, very aggressive. and we didn't match that. You know, they had us on our heels the whole third quarter, and that's why they outscored us 44-24. And then I felt, okay, enough's enough. Our backs are against the wall. Like, we have to go now. And we became the aggressor. We became the team that was getting stops, pushing, attacking. We became more physical. And, you know, when you have two talented teams like you have in Golden State and us, 9 times out of 10, the most aggressive team is going to win. And that's something I learned from my father many years ago. And I felt when the game was on the line, we were the more aggressive team. We got timely stops. And we just kept on believing, not only in ourselves, but in the guy next to us. And that's always a beautiful thing to see.
And then,
She's dominating the mic tonight.
Coach, I might have missed this. You might have said this in the beginning. What play did you draw?
Yeah, well, as I was telling the people from the Denver Post, they're not here tonight, I'm sorry. What happened was when Jamal got that steal, great stop at the end of the game, I had one timeout left, and I was calling it right away in hopes that we'd be able to advance the ball. Sean said that obviously it was called after the dribble, so we had to take it out three-quarter court. And the first look was going to be Jamal Murray up the strong side sideline. The second look was going to be Pope flying off of Nikola at half court. And then obviously Nikola was our primary, Aaron hitting Nikola, and then obviously make something happen. And I wish I could tell you, Mark, that I told him to take 2 dribbles to the right and shoot the jump shot. But as I mentioned to this group earlier, you know, that's just a great player making a great play with the game on the line. From my vantage point, I said, that's going in. I think everybody on that bench, like right when it left his hands, all the coaches in the back were saying that, like that's online, that's going in. And we had a game like that maybe a few years ago, a similar situation, close game, and Monte Morris hit a buzzer beater in the same area, much closer than Nicola's, but you know, Nikola lives for those moments. And you know, it's great and joyful to watch a player of his talent go out there and make the plays that he makes, along with Aaron Gordon, who was great tonight, and Jamal Murray, Peyton Watson off the bench. This was a character win, and it was everybody contributing.
I could have just played him back the recording.
Yeah.
But it was a similar question about how long does 4 seconds feel in that kind of situation? Does it feel like it's going really fast, or does everything, for you as a coach on the sidelines, does everything slow down?
Well, it slows down because Nikola's slow. I mean, so when he catches the ball and he's dribbling to his right, you know, there's not a lot of burst of energy there. But what you have to love and appreciate is that there was no panic on his part, because 4 seconds is a long time. You can catch, take 2 dribbles, and shoot a shot. And for the defender, obviously, you know, you want to contest, but you don't want to foul. The last thing you want to do is foul somebody at the end of regulation, put them on the free throw line. So, yeah, man, we bounced back from a really bad third quarter and somehow, some way pulled out a win, and we have a hell of a challenge waiting in Denver right now in the Orlando Magic.